By Senator Adams, legislative resolution honoring the distinguished veterans from the state of New York upon the occasion of their induction into the New York State Senate Veterans Hall of Fame to be celebrated on June 1, 2010. Whereas, members of the armed services from the state of New York who have served so valiantly and honorably in wars in which this country's freedom was at stake, as well as in the preservation of peace in peacetime, deserve a special salute from this legislative body. And whereas attendant to such concern and in full accord with its long-standing traditions, this legislative body is justly proud to honor the distinguished veterans from the state of New York upon the occasion of their induction into the New York State Senate Veterans Hall of Fame to be celebrated on June 1, 2010. And whereas the New York State Senate Veterans Hall of Fame inductees are members of any branch of the United States Armed Forces, which include Army, Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, and Marine Corps. These exceptional men and women are chosen for this prestigious honor based on either service in combat or notable work performed after discharge from service. And whereas the 2010 inductees include Joseph Conants, John J. Perrone, David J. Clark, Kevin M. Ryan, Lillian Yonley, Richard Pedro, Jeremy K. Teresi, Herbert Barrett, Charles W. Merriman, Edward Borowski, Robert Tom Reardon, Reuben R. Prats, Charles Jeff Scherz, John C. Donovan, Jerry Williams, Lester R. Amuse Jr., Ralph Esposito, Richard S. Tibbetts, Pat Devine, Lester Modelowitz, Anthony Zeppo, Eugene McSherry, Joe Swerter, Thomas F. Sharp, Rich Connors, Ronald Tochi, Patrick W. Welch, Ph.D., Ralph Kring, Bob Moran, Chester A. Serra, Thomas G. Seafelt, Randolph Wilkerson, Jamie Lynn Winkler, Eli Vitrano, Matthew George Francis Ryan, Ed Zaleski, Frank Trans, Randy Dupree, Stanley Reichlecki, Rich Rodeo Washington, Sam Stallman, and Job Mashariki. And whereas the banner of freedom will always wave over our beloved New York and all of America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. And whereas the freedoms and security we cherish as Americans come at a very high price for those serving in the military in times of conflict, it is fitting and proper that we who are the beneficiaries of those who risk their lives must never forget the courage which with these men and women serve their country. And whereas our nation's veterans deserve to be recognized, commended, and thanked by the people of the state of New York for their service and for their dedication to their communities, their state, and their nation. And now therefore be it resolved that this legislative body pause in its deliberations to honor the distinguished veterans from the state of New York upon the occasion of their induction into the New York State Senate Veterans Hall of Fame to be celebrated on June 1, 2010. And be it further resolved that copies of this resolution suitably engrossed be transmitted to the 2010 inductees.
Senator Libous.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise along with my colleagues to honor the gentlemen that are here today and to say thank you. And first off, let me say thank you to Senator Adams, Senator Stewart-Cousins for making this day possible. We say thank you around Memorial Day, but unfortunately we don't say thank you enough. And I think at times like this we have to reflect on the sacrifices that were made for your brothers who never made it home, and certainly for the deeds that you all performed. Joseph Cuter is my honoree today. And Joe, would you please stand up? I want to read... Joe, please stay. I just want to read one paragraph, Mr. President, because I think this says it all, not only for what Mr. Cuter gave, but also for what his colleagues that sit before us and for what many others did so that we could stand here in this chamber and enjoy the freedoms and exercise the most of the time important debate and other times debate that kind of exercises the jaw. But Joe Cuter, in one brutal engagement with the communist North Korean army, a mortar shell exploded near him. knocking him unconscious. Thinking he was dead, his unit was forced to retreat as the position was being overrun by the enemy. Joe regained consciousness as he was being plummeted by a rifle butt of an enemy soldier, and he quickly leveled his rifle and killed his attacker. Joe continued firing on the enemy soldiers, eventually forcing them to retreat. Serving in Korea War, Joseph Cuter was awarded 2 Silver Star medals, 2 Bronze Star medals, 5 Purple Hearts for his many heroic deeds in the service of our country. Joe Cuter, God bless you and God bless your colleagues.
The question is on the resolution. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. The resolution is adopted.